Hello YouTube, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're viewing this video. For those of you who are coming in for the first time, please subscribe. For my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing and hanging out with me and sticking with me as I continue to try to give you more videos and something of interest. I thank you for those who've been praying for my father. It seems like the medication that he's been taking, that the doctor prescribed for him, that actually seems to be working. Of course, he's only been on it a week, but he seems a little bit more calm and a little bit more relaxed, and he's more focused as best as he can be for his age and for his illness. So I thank you guys for that. I never take that lightly. I appreciate it greatly. For those of you who know what it's like to take care of someone, anyone who's disabled and require your 24-hour care, I'm keeping you in my prayers because it's a lot. It's a lot. But thank God for you guys praying for me who are praying, and thank you for liking the video as you come in. If you want to watch it before you like it, that's even better. But hope you like it and subscribe. Again, it's my sign. It says I'm in Mississippi, and so I tell you guys each time I come on that the uh, the weather here is terrible. It's very humid, very hot. Even though right now it's storming outside, it's almost like 100 degrees. So I've been out doing laundry, so my eyes and everything will be puffy, and I have shortness of breath. That's just allergies and sinuses. I can't get away from that. So hopefully I can kind of slide through these next few months, without it being too bad or too difficult. I'm naming this video my other, I guess I could say confirmation number 2 or confirmation number 1, because I had a confirmation, but this is another one. And as I told you guys earlier or before in other videos, um, most of the things that I've learned in life, period, um, is to be quiet, is to sit back and observe. The Bible says, don't be so quick to give an answer to everything that comes, or don't be so quick to speak on everything that happens. I'm always going to go back and forth and throw the Bible in there because that's my guide, my roadmap to a lot of the things that I try to do or try to understand just in life in general, because it does speak of those things that's happening even now. Um, but I told you guys that there were going to be things, there were going to be changes that's going to take place, and it's going to be even darker. And it's getting darker. It's following the path um, that I thought. The only negative thing is people will miss what's actually happening. Because if you're not cussing or screaming or belittling or slandering someone, you really don't get people to see, to watch you, so they don't hear the thing that's going on, and they really don't see what's happening right before their eyes. I think I was on Lady Nick again. I'm gonna shout her out because she always shouts me out, and I appreciate her and I thank her. Um, she has a beautiful spirit, and I thank her for supporting me and for calling me out. But I was on her panel the other night, and the thing I was telling her then, there are things that are happening behind the scenes that we are not aware of. We don't know what's happening, and so you're not privy to those things that are going on until they actually come to the light or come before you here on YouTube. And then it's a shock and a wonder and disapproval or discouragement, disgusted. And not saying those feelings are not valid, but if you ever take the time and sit back and just think about certain things and watch how certain things flow and listen to how certain people say things or the mannerism in which they give you, it all becomes like, okay, there's something deeper and deeper to this than I'm getting, because you'll always have that emptiness or like that little piece that's missing. It's coming. It's not there yet, but you feel it. Okay, there's something more to this than I'm getting, or there's something more to this that I'm not seeing, but it's coming. And I told you guys that, alliances are beautiful. They're wonderful. The people that I support wholeheartedly, um, for whatever reason I supported them in the initial my initial joining of their particular or subscribing to them wasn't necessarily at the beginning of the content, but it was because of how they expressed themselves. It was just, some of it was funny to me, and some of it was kind of an eye opener to me, and some of it was like a new way of thinking or revelation to me, because you're always in a process of learning to gain more information or to gain more knowledge as you live and as you go about your daily life, even on YouTube. Um, but I think the question was asked, and I can't think of her name, right to be told. She was saying, but it's not that serious, and why people take it so seriously. And I was telling her then, a lot of people invest their time. Anytime you see something and you watch something constantly over and over and over, it becomes a part of who you are. It becomes a part of your spirit. It becomes a part of your makeup. Not necessarily your character, but that is always embedded somewhere in your spirit. And so it can't help but be a part of who you are. You can't help to feel a certain way about certain people, because in your mind, even though that connection is not there, but fleshly or whatever, but in your mind you've made that connection with that person for whatever reason. It just sometimes it just happens. It's not intentional. It just happens, and so you really feel, even though you don't know the person per se personally, you feel you do, based on the YouTube videos they've put out and based on the things that they've said. Now, I can say this for me, and I can honestly say this about me. There's not three sides to me or four or five sides to me. This is who I am, period, basically. I'm the same person on YouTube, off YouTube. So that going back and forth for me would be too exhausting. And I think somebody, I can't think of the content creator's name, but they were doing that back and forth and back and forth. And they was in somebody's chat, and they thought they were their other persona when they were somebody else, and they said the wrong name in the chat. So to me, just being real and being honest is easiest for me. Not to put on any airs or anything of that nature, but just to be real and to be honest with you guys, it works best for me. But notice the shifting. I told you guys there was a shifting. There's a shifting in the world. And there's a great big shifting. I told you it coincides. I know I'm not anybody that's very interesting to a point, but what I tell you is truth. It's really true. It coincides with what's going on in the world right here on YouTube in the beef sector. Now you're in that chaos, confusion mode, and it is chaotic. There is confusion. There is a puzzling of the minds as to what's happening and what's moving and excuse me, who's connecting with who's hooking up with who, and what's going on with who. But if you sit back, like I said, my mother taught, she taught all of us that, and I think all of us got it except my oldest brother, because he'll cuss you out. Well, he'll kill you. I mean, my oldest brother will kill you. I mean, he was a gang banger, and in his mind, it wasn't all that talking. Save all that. Let's take care of business and be through with it. I think that's why my mother was so hard on me and my sisters and my other brothers, because she didn't do anything wrong with my eldest brother, but that's just the way he was. That's the way he turned out, and those are the choices that he made. And I love him dearly, but those were just his choices. So what she taught us, don't be so quick to jump into an argument. Don't be so quick to jump in between anything without you understanding and knowing the facts behind it. And if you really don't fully know it, eventually the facts itself will tell. You be quiet, you be observant, and you listen, look and listen. And so that's what I've done, and that's what all of us basically do in my family. But that's what I've done since being on YouTube as far as the beef sector is concerned, because things change. I won't even say overnight, things change within minutes. Somebody can come in and be just as beautiful to each other and love each other and say something off the bat, and all of a sudden, boom, it's now a negative um, it becomes now a negative experience with that individual, between those two individuals who were really kumbaya and friends and lovelies and loved each other and all that. So yeah, excuse me, my sinuses, I tell you, it's killing me. But if you be careful, if you be watchful, you will see, because as I said 2 or 3 videos earlier, it's going to get darker. um, I'm not confused, but for a lot of people, there will be confusion. The chaos has already started months back. Um, and it's almost as if you're having new players are coming into play. Allies that were in the mindset or the eye set solid, you'll see they weren't as solid as you thought or it was presented to be. Um, people, I know a lot of people say people are fake. I don't want to say fake. I guess I can say fake. But the truth behind the person, y'all know when I'm tired, I stutter. The truth behind the individual or the truth behind the person, whether they realize it or not, or they want to or not, eventually comes to the light or comes to the forefront. And what they really believe and what they really represent will come forth as well. And you will see that. For some of you, it's going to shock you. For me, um, what am I trying to say? I'm not invested. I put it that way. I'm not deeply invested. I like who I like. I respect those, regard who I like, and I go from there. Um, they could flip on me tomorrow and say something way out of the way to me tomorrow, and I'll be like, wow. Like some things have happened recently. Some things have happened, like the Atlanta Gate thing, that has turned a lot of people's heads upside down because you present yourself and you say some things one way, and it's almost like it's etched in stone. When it's etched in stone, I don't care what you do, nothing can remove it. The hieroglyphics in Egypt and all that stuff, when the archaeologists went and found it, those things were written thousands of years ago, and they're still there. It's etched in stone, so it's still there, and there's still a bitter taste in people's mouths to what was said or what happened. And now to come back and all that is being retracted, it's almost as if, okay, now what was the purpose? So for me, I'm not surprised. The only thing that I'm surprised about is what I'm trying to figure out. What is the purpose behind the back and forth, the flip and flop, and all of that negative energy and all of the poison and all of the darkness that you spit out? What is the purpose of it? Who is it really building up, and who is it really encouraging? And does it feed something within yourself that you're missing? This is just in general. Is it fulfilling a void that's there in your heart, in your life? And I would hate that it would be something that's dark and poisonous and slanderous. And I mean, wouldn't you hate that to be something that you're missing? Don't you want to really have the love and comfort and all of that? And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. A lot of people say everybody needs somebody. Um, Everybody wants somebody to love them, and etc. And just being open and honest and revelation to you guys. I haven't been in a relationship with anyone. It's been about 20 years, I think. Yeah. I haven't been in a relationship with anyone within 20 years. When I decided to, I don't want to say give my life to God, so to speak, but when I decided to start my spiritual journey, I knew there were things I would have to change as far as the people around me, the places I would go, and things of that nature in order to really give it 100%. And so, in order for me to do that, I had to break ties with people and break ties with friends and even some family members because I knew what they stood for, and I knew they would kind of poison my mind, or they would get in my head, or I would, on a weekday or something, when I'm weak and I wanted to go somewhere and I couldn't or didn't, I knew they would talk me into it because I wasn't really focused into doing what I needed to do. So I broke ties with everybody. The first 5 years of that, of course, I was joined Church of God in Christ at the time. And like I told you guys, you were in church literally 7 days, with 7 nights a week. Literally, you were in church. So I didn't have time to do anything else because I would work. When I would work, I would come home and pray, read my little Bible, whatever. Then at 7 o'clock, you were in church from 7 till about 10:30, 11. If you guys are Pentecostal or Kojic, you know what I'm talking about from years back. That's been some years back. But most of my time was spent there. So there were times the first 5 years it was just so difficult because even though I was gaining all this spiritual awareness, so to speak, and learning these things, there was a part of me that's like, I'm not living. I'm missing on because I had lived, so I partied. I would go out with my friends. We would always go out and all of that, and so there was a part of me missing that. But after the fifth year, for some reason, I don't know if things became a lot smoother or my spiritual eyes became open, or I don't know what happened. But after that fifth year, it's like I was consumed with just learning everything I can about the Bible, or learning everything I can about God, or learning everything about being holy and all this other kind of stuff. And so it's like everything I had in me went in that direction. So the rest of the 20 years or 15 years, my life was consumed with just that. And like I said, they kept you in the church. At that time, I didn't know about the things that may have been going on in within the church that were wrong. I wasn't focused on that. That's the same way I am on YouTube. I'm not really focused on the in-depthness of certain things because people will say one thing and people will show you one thing, but when the rubber meets the road and the reality really hits you, they'll show you who they truly are. And then it's almost as if you feel like you've been lied to and played on because of how they did you previously. But it was always there, babies. It was always there. It's just the fact that we've never seen it or never really paid any attention to it. But I just came to that point where I like people, and that was it. But I became so guarded with my heart and with my emotions and with my feelings and with my spirit that even the first lady of the church at the time, she told me, she said, "You always have this wall around you." I said, "This is to protect my heart." Um, the last relationship I was in, which of course before I got to the church, my heart was crushed, literally crushed, and it took me a while to come back from that. So I said, and that's not healthy, and I wouldn't advise anybody, but that's what I did, and that's what worked for me as far as that part was concerned. I just stayed away from it, and I focused all of that hurt, the pain, the woes, the loneliness, the discouragement. I just focused on Christ, focused on the church, focused on ministry, focused on the Bible, and that was it for me. Focused on my parents, that you make sure they were okay, my job, making sure I was doing the things I need to do to sustain life for myself and my parents. So, but this whole situation that's going on YouTube, I told you guys 2 videos ago, and if you watch this one, you'll see it within the next few days, possibly. No, I'm not psychic. I can say I believe because everybody got some type. A lot of people have the intuitive gift. I'm not psychic, but if you just sit back and watch how things have moved and how things are moving, you can see it, and by the things people say, you can hear it, and so okay, be quiet. Don't jump on every panel and every chat to voice your opinion or to say, "Well, this is how I feel," and that's how I feel, and speak off of my feelings at that moment. But look at what's going on and try to realize what is it that's really happening and what is the message that we're really trying to receive. See, the thing about the beef sector is it has actually shifted um, to a much darker level. And I keep telling you guys, there's a spiritual component. Believe it or not, I know y'all say it's entertainment and it's this and it's that, but there is a spiritual component behind even that. What's going on in the beef sector? Because it's not only affecting the beef sector as a whole, but different individuals are being affected by the things they say, the persona that they carry. Because now you can't tell, they can't even tell the real them from the beef secting person that they've created to be on YouTube. And I know that makes sense. But I just wanted to come on and say that and say the confirmation is still coming. They're coming. Um, as I sit back and watch the videos, and hopefully I'll get more into it later. I don't want to get into names because all of that, they say it's clout chasing or this. And so I normally only shout out the people who are really supporting me and who's giving me that love and showing me that love and support. Lady Nika, Tracy, the Gov, I think Rick Reed, he called me out once or twice. So I appreciate them. Deanna Irving, Lovely Love. I appreciate those people, for taking the time out to even mention my name on their channel. So I appreciate that greatly. But guys, be very watchful. Watch. Watch. The Bible says, even when Christ returns, he comes as a thief in the night. Be ye also prayerful and watchful. There are things happening that coincides with the world, that coincides spiritually with the beef sector, with individuals in the beef sector. Those who are broken, have been abused, those who are hurting, and have never dealt with the issues of what's happening in their lives. It's becoming to fruition on YouTube. It's actually presenting itself, or they're presenting that part of them or that aspect of them on YouTube. And when you see that and when you understand that and realize that, it makes sense. It makes sense. We're all imperfect, living in an imperfect world. Each day trying to live, trying to grow, trying to find, trying to understand just life. Remember, I love you, but God loves you so much more. Again, like the video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to me. I'm sorry that I'm sounding funny and I look high. I'm just allergy and sinus out. Here in Mississippi, it's 100 degrees and it's storming. And today is my laundry day, so I have to go to the outside, and outside to put the clothes in and take them out and all that kind of stuff. So I'm having a really rough time. I'm gonna show you guys. This is this is just part of what I've got to do. I've already washed and dried. Now I've got to fold all these towels and sheets. It looks kind of rough, but like I said, this is my laundry day, so I have to do all that today. So I'm getting that done this evening. But I thank you so much for your support, and I thank you so much for just visiting my channel and giving me that love that a lot of them are not giving. I appreciate it totally. I'm at 815 or 19, so I'll be at 1,000 eventually, and hopefully my material will get even deeper. But it's going to be more of a spiritual thing. I'm gonna let guys know now. I'm not cussing, yelling anybody out, fussing at anybody, trying to bring anybody down or defame them or anything like that. I look so big. Let me sit up. I'm not that fat. I'm just I'm sitting down in a chair, but that's about all I had to say. You guys be blessed and be safe out there, okay? And remember to wear a mask. They've reopened a lot of the things here in Mississippi, and here in Jackson, we've got 600 to 700 new cases that have started since they barely opened up the state. So they're having to go back and reconsider that, even with people wearing masks. There are people who went to work, and when they went to work, they were tested and found out they tested positive for the coronavirus, and they were working in a restaurant. They went back too quickly, so they had to close their restaurant down. So they're rethinking and redoing. Chaos and confusion. Rethinking and redoing. God bless you. Love you guys. Bye-bye.